Hey everybody, welcome back to One Seed, One World. My name is Todd, and if you've not been here before, welcome. And if you have been here before, thanks for stopping by again and hanging out with me again today. Today I wanted to cover 4 herbs that would be great for new gardeners to start in their garden. Really, I mean, they're good for any gardener, but especially for new gardeners because these are easy to grow. So let's get right into it. So number 1, basil. Or as our friends across the pond or in Australia might say, basil. I actually like their pronunciation better for some reason. So grow some basil. But there's many different varieties of basil that you can grow. There's sweet basil, there's lime and lemon basil, there's holy basil, there's Thai basil, there's purple basil, and they will vary in different types of flavor and aromas. So you want to pick something that maybe will go well with your cooking. Now, sweet basil is probably the kind that you find in the grocery store most often. And so for like making pestos and putting on pizza and all that kind of thing, it's a great variety to grow. You can start them inside a few weeks before your last frost, and then you can transplant them outside if you choose, or you can grow them in pots or even in small containers in your kitchen in a sunny window. They do require about 6 to 8 hours of good sunlight per day, otherwise they get kind of leggy, but they will continue producing for you throughout the whole season. And a good way to get them to produce even more is about every 2 to 3 weeks, once they get established, is to prune them back and harvest some, prune around the bush, and I have a video on that I'll link below on a good way to prune basil. But then you just keep getting it, and it will make the plant kind of bush out more and give you more basil. If it gets super hot, they will go to seed, but the flowers are really pretty, and the flowers also attract a lot of good pollinators, like a lot of bees like them as well as other pollinators. So they're kind of good all around for the garden. They're also a great companion plant for tomatoes. I always kind of intermingle my basil plants with my tomato plants. So they go great with that if you are, expanding your garden. In regard to some of the flavors and stuff, like Thai basil has more of like a licorice spicy flavor, and it lends itself well to like a lot of Asian dishes, but might not go as well with, like for a pesto or like Italian dishes. So that's what I was talking about, pick some of the flavors that you want to grow, things that you like to eat. Number 2, cilantro / coriander. Coriander and cilantro is the same thing. Coriander is what they call it pretty much in Europe and in Australia, but in the US and Mexico it's called cilantro. There's a love-hate relationship with cilantro with a lot of people. Some people think that it tastes like soap or maybe stink bugs. So it depends on what your taste buds are like. However, the seeds don't taste anything like the leaves. The seeds are great to be ground up into like a coriander powder or used as rubs on meats. They're used in pickling and all kinds of things. They have like a more earthy flavor to them, whereas the leaves kind of have a more grassy, aromatic thing going on, I guess you'd say. I personally love both versions, but even if you are one of the ones that can't stand cilantro leaf taste, you may like and may even use the coriander seeds or powder and not maybe even have realized that was part of it because they have such a different flavor. These also transplant well. You can grow them in pots, in small planters in your kitchen. They're another one that like the well-drained soil and a lot of sunlight, so if you're growing them inside, make sure they're in a well-lighted area. You can continue to trim them back as well and harvest them throughout the season. They also will go and bolt or go to seed in high heats. So they're better to be planted and harvested like in the spring and in the fall, especially if you're in a hot area. Or you can also try a variety like slow bolt cilantro, which is a hybrid that does better in the higher heats. Dill weed or dill. This is another dual purpose plant where you can use the seeds and like the leafy fronds, ferny type fronds that it puts off. Dill is used in all kinds of cooking and baking. It is, dill pickles, of course, but you can that's what they use the seeds a lot for, or even like the fronds. But you can also use the dill seeds like in breads. You can use the fronds in like chopping it up and adding it to like potato salads and or just baked potatoes and things like that. I mean, fresh dill is a wonderful flavor. It's a beautiful plant to grow in your garden. It can reseed itself because as the seeds come up, and even if you're harvesting the seeds, there's always going to be some that fall on the ground. And it doesn't really become invasive, but in most cases when you plant dill and have it out in your garden somewhere, if you're not growing it in a pot, you probably the next year you will see some random dill plants come up in that general area where you had it before. I have random spots of dill that just kind of pop up throughout my garden because I've planted in different areas, and it's kind of nice to just walk out and be like, oh, hey, I didn't even plant this, and here it is, and you can harvest some. But it's another one that germinates easily, can be started in pots. Oh, actually though, I should say, if you're going to start it in a pot, you should probably keep it in a pot. Dill does not transplant as well. It goes through a transplant shock that sometimes it does not recover from, and so it's better to be direct sown, but you can grow it in pots. Just plant it in a pot that's large enough that where you can leave it in that pot and not have to transplant it. Dill was also dill seeds back in the day. I say back in the day, probably a few hundred years ago, but the dill seeds were called meeting house seeds because they would be used in like church services. If a sermon was gone on too long, people would take a pocketful of dill seeds or a handful to either chew on to keep them awake through the long sermon, or to give to their kids to chew on if they were being a little too rambunctious during the church service. And so they also got that name meeting house seeds. And number 4, oregano, or also pronounced in some countries oregano. I like the oregano pronunciation better than the oregano, but whatever you call it, this is another ancient herb that has been used for probably at least a couple thousand years, if not longer. The Greeks used it a lot. In fact, I think it actually originated in the Greek area, and the Greeks believed that it came, let me check my notes here. Yeah, that it came from Aphrodite is where they believe that it came from, and that she had planted it in her garden as a symbol of joy. And actually, oregano comes from the Greek words organos, right? No, sorry, oros, which means mountain, and ganos, which means joy. Put together, it was mountain of joy. So there's a little bit of history there for you on oregano. It wasn't, even though a lot of other countries in that area used it for a long time, it didn't really become popular in the U.S. until after World War II, when soldiers who were on the Italian campaign discovered it over there and brought it back with them, and then it started to grow in popularity in the U.S. since about 1945 or so. This plant also germinates easily and transplants well, and this is one that will come back year after year, unless you're like in maybe extreme northern growing zones where it might not come back every year if it gets too cold. But here in zone 6B, we have good luck with it surviving the winter. We prune it back multiple times during the summer, and then every spring it pops back up, and also it will kind of reseed itself and grow. And like I have a patch that I've had going for several years now in a raised bed that has kind of filled out one whole corner, and I can't remember the last time I've had to buy oregano because I prune it back and dry it every year, and I have so much dried oregano, which of course I use on subs and sandwiches, pizzas, sauces. There's all kinds of stuff for it. Plus, over the centuries, it's also been used for a lot of medicinal uses as well. So there's your top 4 easy to grow herbs that I would recommend for a new gardener, or for any gardener really. But if you're just getting started and want to incorporate some herbs into your garden besides just growing some vegetables, there's 4 that you can choose from that should give you some good luck. I've got a little lime basil that I just started inside. You can see it's pretty tiny here, but it's kind of getting going. And mixing, herbs in your garden, a lot of herbs can keep bad bugs away. They will also bring in different kinds of pollinators that maybe will fight against the bad bugs, plus bring more of these pollinators into your garden to help pollinate your other fruits and vegetables. And herbs are just the thing that kind of tie everything together, whether you are a vegan or a meat eater. In either case, herbs is like that, the ties that bind, and you will use them no matter what type of cooking that you or eating that you do. You're always going to want to use herbs, and they just freshen up things and bring great flavors to any of your cooking, and they are a beautiful thing to grow in your garden as well. So there are some herbs for you to try growing this year. If you have any questions or comments or other suggestions on herbs that maybe you've grown, please put comments down below. And of course, there's tons more to choose from, all kinds of herbs and spices that you can grow in your garden, but these are just some maybe ones that are used quite a bit that are easy to grow to get started. So whatever's going on in your neck of the woods, I hope it's going fantastic for you. We're almost coming into planting season for starting seeds indoors, depending on where you live. Some of you down south probably already have things going. But I hope that it's all working out for you, and I hope that you will come by and check out more of our videos and hang out with me again soon. But have a great day. See you soon. Namaste.